Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart, and this time we're talking about the very first set of imagery we have for the new Mario movie that's going to be getting its first teaser trailer reveal this Thursday. I'm recording this Tuesday night. We saw the first set of imagery with this poster. It looks amazing. We're going to be trying to do some sort of stream on Thursday. I'll be working when the actual trailer will come out, but I'm thinking I'll probably do some sort of stream late into the night to react to it, talk about it, have some sort of discussion there, because this trailer, it looks like it's going to be amazing, and I'm very excited about that. But there's something that came to mind when I saw this poster that I felt was worth making a video about for today. And that's this idea of this poster being a suggestion towards a Mario game. Now, let me be clear, I don't want to confuse anyone with the title, the thumbnail, or anything like that. Contrary to popular belief, I do try and avoid clickbaiting unnecessarily, right? The idea is to encourage people to click on a video if it's a topic they're interested in. So, anyway, the point is, when I take a look at this poster, when I examine it, the thought that comes to mind to me is, man, what if this was a game? And again, I'm not saying that this is a game, it's not. It's for the Mario movie, not the Mario game. But I wonder if there's a connection. I wonder if there's a suggestion to the direction of what this could be. So hear me out here. My very first thought when I saw this poster, the very first thought, the first fraction of a second was, wow, this looks like something from the Nintendo Universal Park. And when you take a look at imagery, or if you've been to the park, if you're so lucky, you'll probably agree that, yeah, there's a very good similarity there, except this is to another level of grandness and fantasticalness and epicness and all of that. This is just, on a greater scale with more density of cool Mario things, but it looks surprisingly realistic at the same time. When we learned that Nintendo was partnering with Illumination to make this movie, the idea I had in mind for how this Mario movie would look was a little bit more on the simplistic side and more cartoony. And this is still cartoony to an extent, but there's also a little bit of an air of a realism here. You take a look at Mario, obviously these aren't human proportions, but he still looks pretty detailed. It's very similar to Sonic from the Sonic movie. It's almost like this is how Mario would look in a live action movie, except it's not a live action movie as far as I can tell. It's a very animated movie, a very CGI, Pixar, kind of style of movie, an Illumination style kind of movie. But anyway, the point I'm making here is that you take a look at this, and this is the most detailed we've ever seen anything Mario before, ever. This is on a whole other level, and when I think about just Nintendo games in general, we've never seen anything look like this. Like, imagine if this was a video game. It looks like it could be a video game, and that's part of the point I'm trying to make here. You look at this, and this to me screams the future of Nintendo. Imagine if the next Mario game were to look something comparable to this. Look at that world. That looks like a world to explore. Like, there's islands in the sky, you see the background, there's houses that you look like you can climb up to and investigate and just go all around. There's so much detail here. It really feels like they sort of thought about this and this layout and how you get from one point to another. This feels like a well-crafted world, and I think that's great news for the movie, because it is suggestive that the people behind this movie, including Shigeru Miyamoto, have worked really hard to make this feel like a connected, cohesive world that may feel like a proper representation of the Mario universe. And based off all the details I'm seeing here, which there's a myriad of them, they're all over the place. This is dense with detail and little cameos and nods. There's just so much going on here, it's crazy. But trying to stick to the point here, you look at this, you take away the details of it saying it's a movie, this would just look like a more open style of a Mario game. Like, imagine if they took Mario and they sort of merged it with the Breath of the Wild style, and obviously they added more horsepower because the Switch couldn't render anything close to this. But maybe on the next system they could have something that is comparable to this. And what's interesting about this idea is that it's not just purely speculation with no reasoning or logic behind it. I do believe there is some behind it. So let me get to that. You take a look at what we saw with Bowser's Fury. You take a look at what happened with Super Mario Odyssey and the success we've seen with Breath of the Wild and other games that have gone more open or more 3D, like Kirby and the Forgotten Land, for example. I think Nintendo is aware that demonstrating scale and openness and detail for their franchises does yield results. Breath of the Wild, best-selling Zelda game ever. Super Mario Odyssey, they went back to the sandbox style of Mario where there was big open worlds to explore, and it did incredibly well, the best-selling 3D Mario of all time. And then you look at Bowser's Fury, which is a very open style of game. I have to imagine that they were playing around with the concept of a more open style Mario game, even more open than Mario Odyssey. And then you take a look at this, and you see how there's clearly a connection to also the Universal Park. And you also factor in the idea that maybe there is a Mario game not too far off into the distance. It does make sense to have a Mario game to come out, not saying immediately after the movie, but maybe within 6 months or a year. That way, all of the excitement and publicity from the movie bleeds into the release of the game, and that also sees more success. There's a reason Nintendo is going into the movies and the Universal Parks and the mobile games, and there's merchandising. These different things, they all take advantage of each other, they market each other. This Mario movie is going to popularize Mario even more so. And based on what I'm seeing here, this is a celebration of the Mario universe. I have to imagine that people watching this movie are going to think, wow, that looks like something really fun to play in a Mario game. So I definitely think Nintendo is aware of this, and they're going to position a Mario game in the not so distant future to follow up with this movie that will be successful. And I'm not saying it's going to have the same style as this movie, no, but what if it has that same sense of scale? This poster here, to me, suggests scale, the most dense and detailed Mushroom Kingdom we've ever seen before. And that's exciting. This is the kind of world I would love to explore. And taking a look at this poster, I think that's one of the big ideas here. This looks like a fun adventure. People want to see this world. They want to see Mario explore it. And it just makes me think, okay, where are we headed here? When I think about what's to come in the future, we're going to want a game that's kind of like this. I do. And of course, the Mario game is not going to be like this. It's not going to be like a licensed movie to video game adaptation where they're going to make a game truly based off of the movie. The Mario game, whenever it does come, it's going to be its own thing. But I wouldn't be shocked if there are things about it that remind people of the movie and vice versa. The same way this poster kind of reminds me of Nintendo's Universal Park. They want these to promote each other. It's just business. But also, it's cool, which is why we're going to watch this movie, which is why we're going to go to the park, and it's probably why we will eventually buy the next Mario game and enjoy it very much, because it's going to be a fun, cool experience. And I just love the possibility of a Mario game being kind of like this. Will it be? It's entirely possible Nintendo will go in a completely different direction, but considering what they've done with Mario Odyssey, considering how they've seen success with other bigger games, considering what they did with Bowser's Fury, it seems like they are headed in the direction of a more open style Mario, and they're kind of marketing here with this movie. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Can't wait to see the actual trailer for this Mario movie. We'll be talking about that soon, but you all take care. See you later. Bye.